Hello and welcome to the Jeff Finch Experiment. My name is Jeff, as you already know. I am here tonight with two special guests, my friends from up north, my Canuckastanian good pals, Matt, say hello.
Hello.
And Mark.
Hi, Mark.
And
That was horrible.
That was horrible,
Why?
Mark. Classic. Why don't you tell the crowd who you are and why we talk and what we're plugging, I guess?
We're two of three people that are in the podcast, 1337 FM Nerd Talk Radio. We talk nerdy stuff, but for the most part, we talk pretty much anything that comes to that's that we find interesting. And we
tend to ramble.
We tend to ramble a lot.
Minus politics. No politics on your podcast. And that's okay.
We try to avoid it.
Yeah,
it can be very divisive. So
our topics kind of intermingle, a lot between our podcast and the Jeff Finch Experiment.
Somewhat. Yeah.
Notice I didn't say Jeff French this time. So,
Jeff French. Yes, I am not
good.
French. Thank you. Thank you for.
You're not French.
I am unfrench.
So yeah.
But hey, thanks for coming on the podcast. This is the first time I've had Mark on the podcast. Matt has been on 3 episodes, I think now. This will be your third, I believe.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
This will be my third, yeah.
This is the 26th one I've done, so they're starting to kind of mesh together. I'm getting old.
After a while,
work.
It happens.
Yeah. But
I knew you were going to pick up on that, although he said, hey.
Oh, he said, hey?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, so before we started recording, we started chatting a little bit about, we mentioned hockey for a quick moment because as we speak, right now the Pittsburgh Penguins are playing the Washington Capitals. I have the game recording because I'm not going to watch it until we're done recording our podcast. But Matt was telling me that he saw a couple of memes and he didn't quite understand what they meant. They were Pittsburgh memes, and I just wanted to explain them. So read the meme out loud, and so that the 6 people that listen to my show will hear it and be like, well, how does he not know that?
A treasure trove of more memes. Not quite Yinzer. Was it not sure if Yinzer or Jagoff?
What is a Yinzer?
You said that was a Fry meme, right? Fry from Futurama?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's standing there with his eyes.
A Yinzer is basically a rabid Pittsburgh sports fan. Have you? I'm not rabid. No, I'm not compared to some of the jagoffs that run around here. But a Yinzer, basically what it is, it's a word that came across, I don't know, maybe the last 20 years or so. We use the word yins. Whereas, like, people in the southern part of the United States would say y'all, like, hey, y'all, come on over now, or what are y'all doing? Okay. We say yins, like you uns, or yins, like you guys, that sort of thing. For us, it's yins.
Oh, it's sort of like our buys.
That makes
buys. Yeah, that's your thing up there. Right. The BIYS thing or whatever. I never knew how to pronounce that. I always pronounced it as boys. But anyway.
It's just buy.
Bye. Hey, boys. Yeah, okay. So
you're taking the boy, the O off, and just going bye, like saying goodbye.
Oh,
bye.
Like a bisexual.
But it still means boy.
But not,
like
No. I got you.
But anyway, okay. So a Yinzer
is basically a Pittsburgh crazy fanatic sports fan who's like, how can I explain it? Like,
there is no other teams in the NHL, NFL, and
MLB.
Yeah, right, that's pretty much how it is. And every city with a big sports team has those fans. I mean, let's just face it. Yeah. So, but in Pittsburgh, they have that nickname, the Yinzers. And that's based on the fact that we use the word yins, and guys like Bill Cowher, former Pittsburgh Steelers coach, used to say that phrase a lot, like yins and yinzers, and it kind of stuck.
Okay, use the word yin in a sentence.
Hey, what are yins doing tonight?
Okay.
I
can see how that.
Yeah, just think of y'all. I mean, you've heard the phrase, you've heard the word y'all plenty of times, I'm sure. Like, y'all are crazy.
Too many way people say it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, y'all.
Now, a jagoff is basically calling somebody like a jerk off.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, okay. So, like, for instance, Michael Byrne is a jerk off, or excuse me, Michael Byrne is a jagoff for not joining us tonight. But you would have to say it in the Pittsburgh accent, too. Pittsburgh actually does have a pretty defined accent, and a lot of it is basically we slur our words a lot. At least, I shouldn't say we. I should say the people from Western PA, Tri-County area, West Virginia, Ohio.
Okay.
And...
like Stillers.
Yeah, Stillers is a big one.
And
Seriously? They say Stillers?
Oh,
not
yeah.
The Steel?
The Stillers, yeah. Yeah, Pittsburgh
really?
Stillers. Yeah.
I've got a bunch here. I gotta say, yeah.
My buddy from Ottawa, big shout out to Nick White, if you're listening. He's
Hi, Nick.
he's a Steelers fan.
Oh, smart guy.
Yeah, he's in Ottawa, so he got no. There's no Canadian teams in the NFL, so I guess he's got to go with,
Doesn't Ottawa have a CFL team,
So-
or is the CFL just not huge?
not
or-
anymore. No.
Why would
No.
you watch the CFL is my question.
I watch the
No.
CFL if it ever
Okay.
comes on here. Once in a great while during the season, CFL will be on like our local sports channel, and I watch it because it's football, and I love football's. I'm a baseball first guy, but football is also a very big sport, and I really like it. And I'll watch CFL all day. I think it's a slightly different game than what we play. You have
It
a much
is.
bigger field.
Yeah.
You have more people on the field. Roles are slightly different, and it's a chess match just like the NFL. But I like to watch it. You know what I mean? I don't have a team that I root for, but if a game is on, I'll watch it. I like it. It's good.
Yeah. And well, Ottawa did have a CFL team.
Red Blacks.
What's that?
The Red Blacks.
Renegades.
Oh, what am I thinking of?
Renegades.
That's a good team
What's the
name.
Red Black then?
I don't know. Actually, I have a football jersey for the Ottawa Renegades.
You sure didn't dream of it?
What? No, I can go get it right now.
Okay, I gotta look this up. Because when I don't know something.
The only thing is, I don't wear it very often because the guy whose name is on the back of the jersey is kind of embarrassing.
What is it?
His last name is
Blacks are a professional Canadian football team based in Ottawa, Ontario.
Yes, but so was the Renegades. The Red Blacks might be starting up again, but at the time when I was in Ottawa, it was the Renegades.
So it's like the Quebec Nordiques.
The Nordiques. Yes,
Okay.
They're gone.
they're gone too.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, because I thought it was the Red Blacks, and you said no, it's the Renegades.
Well, the old CFL team was the Renegades.
Well, probably.
I
But
think
the
the Red Blacks is a
That's
oh
what
wait
they won the 2016 Grey Cup.
oh did they?
Apparently, according to Wikipedia.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's how much I know, I guess. Okay, they must have started up again as the Red Blacks. Okay, my bad.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think where we started with that was I was trying to explain the Pittsburgh accent to you, and like I said, it's not about. I mean, we do have our own words. Okay, yins is a pretty popular one. There's a bunch of others, but there's a certain way of saying things. So for instance, and it's a lot of it has to do with there's this local radio station called 102.5 WDVE. This is not a plug. They're not plugging me, but they have this morning show that's just this like crazy talk show with all these comedians on it, and it's been going for like 40 years, and they make fun of the Pittsburghese, they call it, the language we speak, so hard that it's kind of gotten ingrained. Like everybody listens to this radio station here, so like they might do a skit where they'll say something like, "Hey, well, y'all go downtown there and yins get us a Pittsburgh sandwich." That's the accent, and it's
Okay.
hard to
And that's not like
understand.
you didn't- It's not like you didn't close your mouth during making those words.
No, I didn't at all. And this is on video, so you'll see this and you'll be like, "Holy shit, he might have just drooled all over himself saying I didn't." But but yeah, that's what it's like, and if you want a really good example of how we talk, there is an amazing channel on YouTube called Pittsburgh Dad. And
Yeah.
Oh, I know what that is.
it's so funny. And dude, that guy, Kurt Wooten, who plays him, nails the average Pittsburgh dad. Like, that is exactly how everybody's dad is. Anybody who had a dad in the 80s, grew up in our age, like the 80s, 90s, that's how their old man is. And
Seriously? Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out.
it's really
He's on-
good.
he
It's
posts
funny.
this on YouTube.
Yeah,
Or,
it's all over
Twitter.
YouTube. It's got many thousands of followers. Definitely check it out. And what was really nice this past football season is they did an episode every single week that was him watching that week's football game. And Some of them are so funny. Whenever we beat
Not
the
in
Bengals at the end of the year
entirety,
was
is
the
it?
best one. What's that?
Not in entirety, was it?
No.
The whole game?
Basically, he'll
Okay,
watch the
just
game,
snippets.
and it's his reaction to the game.
Okay.
And some of it'll go over your head if you didn't watch the game, you know what I mean? Because he'll be like, "Oh, yeah, Ben, he just fumbled the ball. What the hell he doing?" You know, something like that.
Yeah.
But it's really funny because he sprinkles in a lot of jokes. Like there's one episode, for example, where he has he's sitting in his den, and on the table next to him, he has a photo of Mr. Rogers. Okay, you know who Mr. Rogers is, right?
Yes,
And
yes,
Mr.
yes,
Rogers
we
is
do.
a Pittsburgh legend. I've actually met him, and he's like
Okay.
this.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I knew that.
he's like
'Cause I
this
listened to your
super.
podcast before.
Yeah, I did it on a podcast. Joe and I talked about that.
Okay.
But anyway,
Yeah, listen.
Mr. Rogers, you think of him as the super clean-cut, wholesome guy, and he Pittsburgh
he
Dad actually
clean
looks
or
at the
something?
photo of Mr. Rogers and puts it down because he's about to start swearing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just the kind of
Yeah,
stuff
it really is.
that he says. It's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Nice.
Okay, so I got another one for you, Vince.
Okay, go ahead.
Crick.
That would be a creek, like a small river.
That makes sense because there was a
I've
song.
heard that, actually.
Like, I think it's the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Yeah, Cripple Creek. Up on Cripple
No,
Creek. They say
it's,
creek,
Nitty
though.
Gritty Dirt Band.
They say creek, though.
Yeah, they
Down
say
by
creek.
the old creek. Where the
Yeah.
creek, something. I'll remember it
But
eventually.
crick is just an easily shortened version because you can see the natural progression. Somebody's speaking very fast.
Yes.
It's like crick instead of saying creek.
Right, I'm going to go
just-
pull some fish out the creek.
Yeah.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's another one that I think we can relate to. How's come?
Okay,
Cows come.
how about you explain to me what you think it is, and then I'll tell you what it is.
It's like you're saying, Pittsburgh Dad is really funny. Well, how's come? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, not
maybe,
really. No, not really.
Uh-huh.
It's more like
if you're-
how,
hold on, let me have a
oh,
shot.
go ahead.
Let me have a shot. Okay. It's shortened for how's it coming along?
No,
Okay.
What is that?
What is it?
it would be more like how comes you hit your sister like that, or
That's what I said. That's kind of the connotation.
really,
I
okay,
used.
maybe you used it in a way that I didn't think of it that way, but yeah, it's like
Hey, what did you say again?
I don't remember.
more
don't
like
either.
why did you? So like why did you
Yeah,
punch your
okay.
sister in the face? Somebody from here might say, how comes you hit your sister? You know what I
How
mean?
come you
So,
hit
do you have a
her?
sister, Finch?
Yes, I do.
And did you hit her?
She hit me a lot more than I hit her.
How's come?
She's a lot smaller than I am, so it's unfair if I hit her back.
So I got I think I got two more. I want to delve into because I know what one means. Pop. We know what that means.
Yeah, that's and actually that was one of I had a little conversation with Jeff over Facebook because of that one because
Yeah.
for us I always thought and this was something that I thought that all Americans called it soda.
Right.
Soda
It
pop.
depends on the north and the south and all that.
But
shit.
that's what Jeff told me.
Yeah, the way I believe it to be, and this is going by where I've traveled to, because I've traveled most of the eastern side of the United States. If you go much further, if you go not very much further south of where I'm at, you're going to start hearing soda. If you go to, say, like West Virginia, I go to West Virginia quite a bit, and I'll hear pop there, but I've been to like Kentucky, Tennessee, and once you start moving down south, it's all soda.
I would love to go down south, deep south. Would love it.
But once you get all the way deep south, like I'm talking like, like Florida, Georgia, especially Georgia, it's Coke. Everything is Coke. You could be holding a Mountain Dew or a Sprite, and they'll be like, "Oh, hey, I got a Coke."
So how do you go into a store and how do you? No, sorry, not a store. If you go into a restaurant and you say the word, "I want Coke," are they going to say what type?
Coca-Cola. That's what I would say.
What they say here is, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have Coke. We carry Pepsi." Because nobody carries Coke around here except for McDonald's.
But I mean, you want a Mountain Dew, and you say, if all they ever say is,
I'm sure that they say I want a Mountain Dew.
well, that's what I would think.
This looked-
Honestly, I don't know.
colloquial
Because
term would be
Can I have a Mountain Dew Coke?
what?
no, I
Is
don't
that
think
what
so.
you
I don't
say?
think so.
No.
No, I think it's
It's like saying,
okay.
I have a Pepsi Pop.
I think they'll just say something along the lines like, "Yeah, I'll have a Coke," and they'll ask, what kind of Coke do you want? And they'll say, I'll have a Mountain
That's
Dew.
what I said.
I want a vanilla Coke, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'll have a Diet Coke.
So I got 2 more now. I don't know what one means, and the other one I think is like sort of a shortened. Sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Nat.
Anat.
Nat.
What?
That's short for
What's
and that. And it's
Oh,
always
okay.
at the end of a sentence.
An ant.
See,
So-
no, I think we
Oh
say
yeah,
that.
that's easily.
I think we say
yeah.
that like effortlessly.
Yeah.
I saw going over there, Nat.
Yeah,
I can.
that's
yeah,
exactly
look,
right.
Well, it's not something that's in my vernacular though.
I think we
I
say.
don't
and
think I.
It's not in my lexicon of words. but-
No, it's not. But I can see the progression there for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
As a newfie,
I think we
I
say
can see that right there.
ENDAT and dat.
And that.
That's what
yeah,
we
that's
say.
what. And
Similar.
look at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the same.
so-
You know that.
The way you would hear like a Pittsburgher use it or a Yinzer use it in a sentence would be like, "Hey, did you check out the Steelers in at?"
Yeah. See, there's less
That makes
less
me laugh.
pronunciation on the first letter. So
You sound like Louis Anderson's father. Just when we used to watch, was it Louis?
You got to be a little more nasally.
Yeah, Louis Anderson.
Louis
God, that's messed up.
Anderson.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I got one more. No, I don't know what it means. Buggy.
That would be a shopping cart.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we call it a
That's what
buggy.
they call them in England.
I've heard it called a buggy before.
Yeah, and
In
that's
England, they call them buggies.
that's a very popular term. You never hear the phrase shopping cart here or cart. It's
And
always
if I call
buggy.
it a cart, like a shopping cart, like, can I use that shopping cart there? And they'd look at me. Look at these Canadians and that.
They would understand exactly what you meant, but they wouldn't know that you were Canadian unless you said A, because that's the only thing around here that anybody who hasn't spoken to a true Canadian, the A thing is the only thing that anybody around here recognizes you as Canadian for. So, like,
That's a
What
false-
about a boot?
yeah, I mean,
That's
They think
Minnesota.
they might, yeah, right. They
Yeah,
might
that's
think
true,
more
too,
of
yeah.
a Western or Midwestern accent, because a lot of people from America have that accent too. Minnesota, Dakotas, Montana. You will hear that. But that
The
being
parts
said,
of Canada.
it's a stereotypical thing too, because the only reason anybody knows a boot is because of either the TV show Are You Afraid of the Dark or the movie Fargo. Fargo was a
Yeah.
big one.
I just sent you because I just got all those words off that meme I just sent you in Facebook Messenger.
All right, I'll take a look at it in a little while.
Yeah, like I think we have enough of our own slang words. Like we have, there's points where
Yeah.
people from Ontario, people from Nova Scotia, they look and say, "What are you saying?"
And
But that's us.
We get a lot of Quebec drivers and a lot of French drivers come into
They tend to be one and the same.
Labrador City. Well, yeah, they tend to be. Yeah,
Just being
I do
saucy.
agree. No, this is the truth, though.
Yeah.
It makes
we get a
sense. I
lot
mean,
of
you guys are
coming in.
like right on the border of Quebec, right? I mean, you're very
Yes.
close. You're within a few miles.
and everything's and Montreal is a very big
Hub.
hub for the import export.
Oh my
Out of
God, is it
Canada.
ever.
Makes
Huge,
sense. Right on the
huge,
St.
huge.
Lawrence River and whatnot. I mean, it makes sense.
All of the things that come in on the eastern seaboard, they go through Montreal.
Interesting.
So we get a lot of guys coming in, and even within my company that I work with, I'm not going to say the name, but we do get guys coming in from Toronto
Mandalay
and
Industry.
Mandalay
Yes,
Industry.
Vandalay.
Dunder
Farm
Mifflin.
Vandalay.
Vandalay. For
This
the
is like
local-
Vanda. This is importing, exporting. Sorry.
Oh yeah, Vandalay. No, I work for Dunder Mifflin,
God.
Labrador City.
I would love to go to that. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
Hey, that's in
and-
Pennsylvania, by the way. Scranton, Wilkes-Barre.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Scranton, Pennsylvania.
yes, I'd love to go see that building, just because.
Doesn't exist.
It doesn't. That building doesn't
No,
exist.
No, I'm
I
sure
don't
it
think
exists.
it exists.
It-
There's no actual.
There's no Dunder Mifflin.
There's a
in it.
sign that says Dunder Mifflin.
That's probably sold to somebody now.
No,
Steve
no, it's
Carell
because
would
of
not
the
be there.
Yeah.
Steve
exactly.
Carell's awesome. Anyways, yeah.
He was
Anyway.
awesome, yes.
So, and these and the guys would come in and they would talk to myself, and I would start talking, and then they would say, "Well, your Newfoundland accent's not very thick."
Yours is compared to mine.
Like, well, but the fact of the matter is that most people can understand me. And I said,
Yeah,
well,
that's true. That's true.
And then I'll be like, my son, I can turn around some tick too, though.
Well, you turn on pick tickly pisu.
My son, right tick.
Yeah, but
Right
I mean, you can turn it off and on, but for the most part, there are Newfoundlanders that can't, like, it does not turn off.
No, exactly.
I did not understand a fucking word you guys just said when you did that. Like, I heard
Good.
tick in there, and I immediately thought of a big blue guy holding a spoon. That's all I heard and all I understood.
My son, listen now. Here,
Mike's impersonation of you is amazing.
Mike's
Yeah,
impersonation
when you were
of
just
me?
doing it, sounded like that.
Okay.
His impersonation of me?
Oh yeah, no, you too, Finch. But
Oh, okay.
Mike does good impersonations of people.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mike, because Mike has a bunch of words he knows that apparently, like, Pittsburghers, I'm gonna call you that, say funny. He told me about foon and bagel and a bunch of other ones, and I don't remember.
Bagel, I've never heard that before. I've never ever heard it called
sounds
bagel.
like a valley girl word. I got a bagel.
A bagel.
I got a bagel. Gee, it's Becky.
But there's like a
Don't
bunch-
understand me.
There's like people like that come from Newfoundland, like that I work with, and that come to my job. They probably go to yours too.
Yeah.
And they have the thickest Newfoundland accent I've heard,
And they don't turn it off.
And it freaks out the Filipinos.
Does it?
Because we got like 2 Filipino dudes, and they're best kind of people. But they kind of, English is their second language.
Sure.
So when they come in, and it came in one day, and it's this certain guy. His first name is Carl.
I know exactly
I'm
who he
talking
is.
about.
Yep.
And he come in, and he doesn't say how's it, like, hello, how's it going? He goes, ah.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh.
Yeah.
I go, hey, Carl. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you look for some parts? Yes, boy.
Yeah. Looking for some of them yellow things.
And I'm like, oh, Carl. So and it's funny because one day he came in and I was doing something. So one of the guys, Jesse, he went up front to help out Carl, and Jesse is from the Philippines, and okay, goes up and says, I know, how can I help you? And then Carl says, yeah, buddy. He says, okay, I'll say it for in English.
Yeah.
I'm looking for some oil filters for my machine. So now, whatever, Carl's, I'm going to try to say it like how Carl says, well, look at filter machine there. No,
Okay.
I take that how he,
somewhat legible. Somewhat.
Yes.
and then Jesse, because
Yeah.
he's because obviously English is his second language and he's not the greatest at it.
Right.
He kind of was looking at him funny. He's like, do you speak French? And Carl's like, no. And I was starting laughing because I could see them interacting, and I was laughing to myself because I'm like, these 2 people over there, and English is their second language, both of them, because Carl doesn't speak English.
No,
Right.
he
Carl
speaks
needs-
Newfoundlandese.
He needs subtitles.
Yeah.
And it was just making me laugh.
Yeah.
But oh god, imagine we got him on here.
Oh, no. He would never. He would never.
It wouldn't work.
No.
But
Not
yeah, look,
Carl.
there's
You'd never
words-
understand a word he said.
There's words we say, like, say I went to Walmart and I got in some snarl. Now you know what that means, Mark.
Yeah.
I would be some sort of like some sort of situation that's annoying. A snarl.
Okay. That's not what I
Yeah,
think of a snarl, but okay, that makes sense, though.
What do you think it is?
When I hear the word snarl, I think of Billy Idol and that stupid thing he does with his lips.
Yeah.
That's a snarl. I've never heard the word snarl used as a confrontation or a, that sort of thing.
Yeah, boy, what a snarl that was.
That's a good one, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to start saying that. I like that.
It's a good one. It
My son, you got
implies.
yourself in some snarl now, didn't
Boy,
you?
that's some kind of snarl you got in there, Nat.
We would almost have to get like physically to each other's
where's
areas
this going?
just to truly understand
Okay,
each other.
I
Absolutely.
didn't know where that was going.
No, I'm just saying it would be nice. I'd love to get down to Pittsburgh.
No
Yeah, me
homo.
too.
No homo. I've been
Which
thinking
is
of.
fair enough.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've been giving that some thought, actually. Next year, I want to take a vacation and go somewhere. And
Here.
I
There's nothing to do.
I would love to come up there because, for one, I've never visited Canada, and I always did. And I know I give you guys crap about being from Canada, and I know that, but obviously you can just take that as jokes. You know what I mean? I love Canada. I think it's a great country. You guys have great sports like curling and hockey, and those things are excellent. And every Canadian I've ever talked to or met has been a wonderful person. And I truly
Wow.
mean that.
You don't mean all of us.
No, of course not. There's 25 million
We do
Canadians
have
or 30
our
million
assholes,
Canadians
too.
or whatever, but yeah,
Yep.
I'm only ever met a few. But
I just squeaked. Well, if you're gonna go anywhere, go to Montreal.
Go to Montreal.
Toronto.
Toronto's a pretty close to me actually. I'm about I want to say like
Actually,
4.5
all the
hours.
assholes live in Toronto.
Say again.
Well, the thing is, you go to Toronto, you might as well just stay in the States.
Yeah,
Because that's where all the
I've been told
that's
that
where,
as well,
that's where 95% of Canada's assholes live is Toronto.
Mm.
and I can understand that. But like, if I were to come to Canada, I think I would rather come to where you guys are because wherever I want to take a vacation, I want to go somewhere that's completely different than what I'm used to. And
There's nothing here.
This
man.
is different. This place is different.
well,
This is
it's
way
not
different than what you
yeah, absolutely. And I like to see things like landscape and stuff like that, and you got plenty of it up there. And
Yeah. Oh yes, we do.
not that we don't
Good
have it
fan.
here, it's just different here. You know what I mean? Here it's all rolling hills and trees. That's the landscape here in Western PA. And it's
Hmm.
gorgeous.
This is what we got here, man.
Yeah, but different types of trees.
Different
Oh,
types of trees.
He's probably
Different
talking
types of
about
hills.
more like elm and spruce and
Elm, spruce, pine, and maple. Those are the only trees
Yeah.
that live around here.
We tend to just
Take
have
away
maple
the pine and the spruce and just leave all kinds of green evergreen. We're just surrounded by evergreens.
Yeah.
Tiny
all the
ones.
time. All the time.
Small Christmas trees.
Yeah.
Hemlock here is big. Our pine trees are large. We got large pine trees here.
Yeah.
Evergreens. We have large evergreens. Let me say that.
Well, I mean, if you really want to go somewhere sort of scenic that's not a completely isolated shithole, go to Newfoundland.
Go to the actual island. Of
Island of
Newfoundland.
Newfoundland.
Go to St. John's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go to St. John's. I mean, things about Newfoundland, you can drive all over it, right? It's not that big. So you can, I don't know. Why would you want to go inside St. John's, I suppose? Go to Grossmoorn. Grossmoorn National Park.
National Park.
Okay.
It is amazing there.
Yeah.
Because it like you look at it, you're like, this is like a Norwegian fjord. No, it's not. It's Grossmoorn.
And I'll tell you this: when I lived in Ontario, Jeff, I had people that had never really went to never went east of where they lived,
Of course,
and
it
they
didn't.
said this one gentleman. I worked with him for a while,
Was
and
he a
he
gentleman?
said, well, he was a nice guy.
Okay.
And he said, I need to go to Newfoundland. He said, I have never been.
Mm.
I told him, I grew up in Newfoundland, and he said, okay. He said, I need to go to Newfoundland. So he did, him and his wife, on their vacation, he packed up his truck, and him and his wife went across the boat into Newfoundland, and drove across Newfoundland and stayed in some bed and breakfasts.
Breakfast.
Breakfasts. And he said he came back and he spouted off.
Well, that's good.
Basically, he had nothing but good things to say.
That's good.
And he said, it's not about the physical place.
About.
He said in Newfoundland, it's about the people that you see.
Yeah, I think because I don't know, Finch, man, you're going to be blown away by the people you meet.
Oh yeah,
Because
there's no doubt about that. But anywhere I would go, even in the United States or wherever, I would probably feel that way anyway. Just
Really?
because I've been as far south as Florida and Texas and whatnot, and
Yeah.
I was blown away by the people in those places too, in a completely
that's-
different manner. Now, the people in those areas have a lot of there's a lot of diversity there. A lot of, Caribbean people, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans as well, Latinos. So, it's a different style of person, but I was blown away by how friendly some people are and, in other parts of this country. And it would just be cool to see, people up to the north. Because I haven't been very far north of home. The farthest north I've ever been has been Niagara Falls. So, I've never,
Okay.
it's
The
just,
American or the Canadian side?
the Americans. I've never left the country.
You've been on the side of the
You need to get on the other side.
I know, that's
Other
what everybody
side
says. I've seen pictures of the view,
Yeah.
and the view is way better from your side.
It is, and there's a lot more downtown.
Yeah, there's a true city
like the
there.
actual, it's a true it's really what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Hustle and bustle.
Touristy. is very touristy.
Touristy.
There's
Okay,
a
yeah.
lot of stuff in Niagara Falls.
There was
If you're
nothing
gonna
to
go
do on the
somewhere like-
American side. Nothing. The American side,
my
it's
God.
like there's a nice park, and that's it. That's all it is.
No, there's a lot more.
If you're gonna go somewhere like Niagara Falls, which is like a defining country's
Sure.
monument sort of
Mhm.
thing, touristy is what you want, right?
Yeah, and the
Well, guess
Canada
what?
side is a great.
Yeah, of course.
Because-
And you want the
Yeah.
best views, and you want to be able to talk to cool people, and whatnot. And but Niagara Falls, like I said, that's the most northerly I've been. If I'm gonna take a trip to Canada, it's not gonna be to see Niagara Falls. Although that's probably where I would cross into Canada, so I might as well stop and check it out anyway.
Yeah.
So. But
Yeah,
if I
that's
were
right.
to drive to the Great White North, so to speak, it would be cool to go to like Newfoundland or even Nova Scotia would be kind of a cool place to visit, I think.
Nova Scotia.
Halifax is a beautiful city with a lot of history, and it's really cool. It is
Cool.
a really nice place. So
Now, have you guys ever been out west?
I've
No.
never been further than Ontario, actually.
Okay.
I've never been out west. No.
The furthest, like I said, the furthest I've been west as well was Texas. I have relatives that live in Houston, and
Okay.
it's it's obviously it's a different world there than it is here. It's all flat and crazy and weird, and I don't like that. But I have this like obsession with the Rocky Mountains, and one day I will go west. If I'm gonna go to visit the Rockies, obviously I'm probably gonna go to Colorado, because that's the best
Colorado,
place,
yeah.
and they got now marijuana is legal there, so that's a plus. But not that I'm like a much of a partaker, but hey, when you're in Rome,
Yeah.
but
Well, bro,
yeah, I mean when you're in Aspen, but I would like to visit the Rockies, and I was wondering if you guys had ever been to the Canadian Rockies, because I can't imagine the Canadian Rockies being much different than
No,
the American
it's-
Rockies.
it's on the bucket list.
Maybe
I'm trying to
maybe
talk my wife
taller,
into
but
going.
also I really, really, really want to go to Alaska. Alaska is on the bucket list. Big reason is I want to go hunting and fishing in Alaska. I want to.
If you want to go
Go ahead.
good hunting and fishing, I mean, you might as well just come here. I mean, there's world famous like guides and like camps that people do guiding like in the woods.
That's
Next to my
great and
dad.
all, but you guys don't have 12-foot tall grizzly bears, and that's what I want to hunt. Moose and elk and
What?
stuff like that would be awesome, but there's something about ginormous, like world's biggest grizzlies that just I have a slight infatuation with. Would
I think
love
you
to go to like the Aleutian Islands and slay a giant bear, and
Yeah.
that's part of it. The salmon run too is a big one. Like you hear and see all these photos and beautiful video of the salmon, these
Salmon.
giant 3-4 foot salmon cruising up the stream every spring. That's
That's
something I
delicious.
want to see and partake in.
sounds delicious.
It sounds
It
so
does.
good.
I love salmon.
Yeah.
Let's
Salmon is my
cut the
favorite
podcast off and
fish.
go eat some fish and then no, I'm just kidding. But that
Yeah,
it sounds amazing, and that's why I want to go to Alaska. And
That's fair enough.
I would have moved to Alaska. Like if
The thing is, most people when they go on vacation, where do they normally go? They'll go to the big cities and go look at the big cities. But
Unless
you're
they
not
live in
seeing
the
the
big city.
country. You're not seeing the country if you're going to the big city, because you don't get the actual flavor of the country from a city.
you're
You
absolutely right.
can't.
And all
you
cities
can't-
look the same. That's another thing too. I mean, yeah, big cities
Concrete
have their
steel.
yeah, they'll have exactly. They'll have their signature buildings like the Empire State Building or the Sears Tower or something of that sort. But
that stuff. Yeah.
and that's great. That's cool. I've been to New York City and it was amazing. But it's if I want to
It's
see the
still
city, I mean,
city.
I can go to Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? I live 25 minutes away from there. So it's
That's right.
not much different than going to you're exactly right. It's not much different than going to a Houston or a Toronto or a Vancouver or something of that sort. The people are a lot different. But in terms of
That's another thing, because if you go to a city and you gauge the people that talk to you in a city, then you're going to be a lonely person. You get out of the city, though, that's going to change. Because myself, my wife, and our friends went to Montreal for a weekend, and I looked at the male counterpart of the other couple, and I looked at him and I said, "Look,
I love that's how you address him. Do you call him that when you're talking to him?
No, I call him by his name, but nobody knows who it is, so there's no sense in me saying his name.
All right, fair enough.
Right? I said, look at everybody on this subway. I said, nobody's looking at each other. No one. Everybody had earbuds in, and they were looking at their phones.
Right.
Everybody.
That's anywhere you go anymore. I mean, it was probably the same 40 years ago, too, except they were looking at newspapers instead of cell phones, you know?
Oh, yes. Yes, exactly. But nobody talks to each other. Yet there's so many more. You're surrounded by so many more people, but nobody talks to each other.
Well, I'll give you a counterpoint to that. The majority of those people that you see in the city are all living in that same city. So if you go to Toronto or New York or whatever and everybody's buried in their phones, they're not going to find any interest in talking to somebody who lives right up the street. Now, if I'm there and I talk to one person and I mention, hey, I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and, you know, then suddenly I'm interesting. So somebody will want to talk to me. Yeah. And then the guy standing next to him might chime in and say, oh, Pittsburgh, wow, Steelers are good. Or another guy might say, hey, how about that Sidney Crosby? You know what I mean? So there's more interest for somebody in a different city to talk to somebody like me. And that's happened to me. You know, the last time I went to Florida, I went to West Palm Beach, and I was like an alien there. And people wanted to talk to me. And I was only 17 years old at the time. So, like, you know, that's the difference. And you got to think of that, too. You know, there's those cities, everybody they look at, to them, is just another Toronto-ian, or whatever you would call them, a Torontan, or you know, New Yorker.
Toronto. A person from Toronto is a Torontonian.
Torontonian?
Yeah. Torontonian?
That
a
is
person
the
from Montreal
dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's dumb. Stupid.
Edmontonian, Calgarian, Vancouverian. I don't know. Vancouverite.
What's a person from Halifax?
Haligonian.
Haligonian.
Really? Haligonian?
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds like a company that produces chemicals.
Well, there is a clothing company called Haligonian.
Really?
So, yeah.
That's interesting.
Are they based out of Halifax?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's sort of like the original area was called Haligonia by the Indians. By the local native. Kind
of like Milwaukee.
One of those.
You know
Algonquin for the good land.
Do you know how I learned what that meant?
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World.
Yeah, that's exactly where I know. I've never heard it or seen it anywhere else. Alice Cooper said it on Wayne's World, therefore it must be true.
Means, what is it? The rich land or something?
The good land.
Yeah, the good land.
And what is the Quebec pizza?
Doesn't this guy know how to party?
This guy know how to party or what? That was the exact reply.
Looks at him.
It's a good thing Nick isn't here, because he would then go on and quote that entire movie, even though we wouldn't want him to. Or maybe we would.
Oh, nah. God bless his soul.
No offense to Nick, but we would talk. We would. It's cool for one or two, but
it is a very good quotable movie. I will say that there are many great quotes from that movie.
That movie is it's in my top 10. Wayne's World 1, Wayne's World 2 is my top 15.
I agree. The second movie is nearly as good as the first one. It's really close.
It is, yeah, but it's not as good.
Not quite. It's not quite as good, but it's still a great movie on its own.
I can't put my finger on why it isn't, but it's just not.
Well, for one, the gratuitous Indian naked butt kind of throws me off a little bit.
Yeah, the weird naked Indian.
Weird naked Indian. Yeah.
I even pointed that. I don't know why.
You pointed at my computer.
All the weird naked Indian.
The lack of Ed O'Neill also.
Yes.
Because he has like 4 lines in the first movie, and every one of them is gold.
Just amazing.
Have you ever stabbed a man in the dead of winter? The steam rises from the wound. Classic. It's great.
And the Indians thought it was his soul escaping to the afterlife. And then there's another one. They go up to him. I don't know what they say. And he says something. And why do they come to me to die? Why did they come to me to die? And I was, as a kid, I thought it was hilarious. I didn't understand it.
You know what else? One thing in the second movie that's excellent. Yes, Ed O'Neill is not in the second one, but they do have Del Preston.
I love the irony of you saying excellent.
Right, zang. But yeah, Del Preston, the British guy, the British roadie in the second movie, is fucking hysterical.
The blonde guy or the...
No, the guy was hanging upside down.
The older guy, yeah, Keith Richards says he took 10 years, put 10 years on his life by sleeping like this, or something.
Okay.
That was a
think-
horrible British accent.
It's not good, but the thing that makes him great is there's the one story that he tells like 3 different times throughout the movie to different people, and it's amazing. He's like, Ozzy needed 1,000 brown M&Ms or we wouldn't go on stage that night.
Oh yeah.
So we went to the little candy shop and we laid it down.
Sounds like
And it's like-
everybody making fun of Paul
McCartney?
Paul McCartney.
I just...
Now,
I love
Paul
how you-
McCartney's voice is a little higher, you know.
Well, that's a different accent. That's
Yeah.
Liverpool accent.
That's Liverpool.
Yeah, that's
This
Liverpool as
guy's a-
opposed to Dell's is more of a, I guess like a lazy Queen's British. I don't know. There's like 50
Birmingham.
accents. I don't know.
It's called Birmingham. It's a Brummie accent. Ozzy Osbourne.
Okay.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, my
Did you
wife,
ever
my
hear-
wife's
did you ever
English. I
hear-
know all this.
Do you ever hear Chris Pratt do the Cockney?
No.
No.
So he told me that he missed me. I was like, "What am I, your mother?
Your mother-
Your mother?"
Sorry, I just keep thinking of this story. And they said, didn't he break into the candy shop?
Yeah, he's like, we
And,
broke
like-
into the candy shop and it was, when
Was
we
big-
got there, it was a
bloody
bloody
big
Bengal
tiger.
tiger. We
And then he
managed
had
to destroy the tiger, but the shopkeeper and his son, that was a different story altogether.
I remember that.
Isn't he like, he beat the
Yeah.
Bengal tiger to death with a shoe?
We beat him to death with his own shoes.
That was a different story altogether.
Oh,
So
that is-
good.
Yeah.
That's such a good fucking movie.
That's a great
See, we-
line, too. Like, I actually say that in everyday conversation. That was a different story altogether. And I make sure to say it with that, like, I try to say it with that accent. It's
Doesn't he say it like altogether?
altogether.
Like,
And he does, like, the one eye curl where one eyebrow
Yeah.
goes up every time he says it. It's so good. So funny.
Well, Brummie is sort of a weird version of English where it's sort of distant Cockney, where F's are V's.
Yes.
And
Yes, exactly.
yeah.
But that was a different story altogether.
But yeah, if you listen to Ozzy Osbourne and listen to that guy, you're gonna tell their accents are the same.
Well, I never really thought about that, but Ozzy is damn near unintelligible
Yeah,
when he
when he's
speaks.
talking, just
You can
normally.
understand him when he sings, but you can't understand him when he speaks.
I was just gonna say that when he sings, you can hear it.
Right.
when he was on
Sharon!
When he was on stage and he was talking out to the crowd, he was very intelligible on stage. So I think it's just when he's just relaxed and at home.
It's because he's screaming when he's on stage. I can't
Yeah.
fucking hear you!
Well, he always ends his concerts with the same thing. If you've drank, make sure you get a ride home. And
I've actually never watched Davis live.
yeah,
Yes, I did.
He
Yes, I actually
always
did.
Yeah, I
says
do
that.
recall hearing that, like watching him like on Ozfest videos and stuff. I've never seen him live, so in person, but I have seen video of him live.
I have.
What album did I have in Ozfest? He was in like Thailand or something, and Mother bought it for me like my 11th birthday, and I couldn't. I just said birthday. Jesus.
Birthday.
We've been
It's your
doing-
birthday.
And I couldn't believe my luck that I had an Ozzy Osbourne CD, and I listened to it over and over and over, and I loved it. I can't find it now,
Yeah.
and I'm livid. And Mother, probably no Mother, she threw it out. Oh, it's another Newfie word.
Mutter.
Mother.
Yeah, we don't say that
Yeah.
here.
Mudder.
Mutter.
Mutter. Yeah, I have seen you mention that before, like on Facebook, and say it during your podcasts, and
Yeah.
like mutter. Here, a mutter is like, if you say mutter around here, people think of like, riding your ATV through mud. Like,
I was just gonna say that.
that was a rough
But-
mutter.
There's
Yeah.
that's the same right here.
Completely different in your neck of the woods. That line, yeah.
You knocked off the thing.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not. Oh.
Are you sorry?
My bad. Sorry. That's a Canadian thing. Too.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I love how like Nick's been tagging me in these things that are like, because I like the page as an everyday Canadian,
Yeah.
and I think he did too. Because since I liked it, probably come up in his feed.
Yeah,
and
it
he
probably
looked
showed
at,
up on
like,
his feed, and because I've seen it on my feed too. I don't think I've liked it. I don't know. I'm one of those people. I serial like stuff. Like when I see it on Facebook, if it's anything at all that even mildly interests me, I just hit the like button. And so there's a ton of pages on my thing that show up, and I'm
I'm
just
very discriminating tastes. I do.
say again.
I I have very discriminating tastes when it comes to looks.
When with Facebook, I'm a very big stalker. I'm a Facebook stalker. Not a,
Boy, I couldn't tell just by looking at that photo of you on Facebook holding that cup. You do have kind of the stalker eyes.
Kind of that, Bond villain vibe.
Right, that, like, stare at you from the other side of Tim Hortons vibe.
Oh, yeah, Tim Hortons.
Now, if you go to start a road trip, Mark, where do you stop first? You go to Tim's.
Well, that's what you used to do.
I still do.
I can't no more.
Well, I'm sorry. You have to drive in another vehicle.
Okay.
Why can't you stop at Tim's anymore?
I can't drink Tim's coffee. There's something in it, man.
Does it, like, mess with your stomach, or you don't like the taste?
Yeah,
or?
it kills my guts as soon as I went and got one tonight because I was tired and I wanted a nice pick me up, and I had about maybe 3 sips of the coffee and heartburn.
That sucks.
And I can make coffee at home and drink a pot of coffee at home. I can go to McDonald's and drink coffee from McDonald's.
I do prefer
problem.
their coffee.
McDonald's has great coffee.
They've upped their game big time. I remember back in the day, my father used to get McDonald's coffee when I was out visiting him in Nova Scotia, and
near Mr. Anus's house.
Down by Mr. Harry Anus's house. Yeah, we used to drive by. And
what?
You can't leave that. You gotta tell the story.
Yeah, come on. Back it up there, guys. Put it in reverse, and let's talk about Harry Anus for a minute.
It's going to be in one of our episodes.
Okay, that's a teaser for one of our episodes. We'll explain to you later.
Listen
Okay.
for the Harry Anus story. So.
And I will be sure to put a link right here on the page, guys. Anybody who's watching this on video, to 1337 FM, and whenever the Harry Anus episode. In fact, you need to just title the episode that. That needs to be the episode title.
Yeah.
Harry Anus's house.
I had planned that when we were recording it.
Okay.
This is going to be the Harry Anus episode.
Okay,
Harry
excellent.
Okay, cool.
So anyway, you were saying, so first place you would stop on a road trip, other than not Tim Hortons.
Well, I would go to. I just go. Let's go to McDonald's because I like their coffee.
They do have good coffee.
I drink their coffee.
And then you go to Tim's to get some Timbits.
Timbits are delicious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because why wouldn't you? I mean, if I were to go in the States, if there was no Dunkin' Donuts around, I would go right past Orham's and I'd be like, oh, Krispy Kreme.
Excuse me.
The difference there being, though, is there is only one Orham's. It's a mom and pop. It is not a chain. Yeah. There's only one, and I work there. Whereas Krispy Kreme is all over the eastern seaboard, and their donuts are horrendous. They're terrible. They're poop.
Oh, they're delicious.
No, they're not.
The irony of it, I know they're an American company, and they're like an American chain, but the first time I had Krispy Kreme was in London.
Really? I didn't realize they were that far. I didn't know they were there, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And, like the classic double, like dozen glazed, that's what we picked up, because I was like, oh man, donuts, who cares?
Here's what I have against Krispy Kreme's donuts, and this is strictly from the flavor of their donuts. Their glazed donuts are okay. They have the little, basically like Timbits, you know what I mean, the little donut holes. They're pretty good. What I don't like is their cream-filled donuts. And I'm probably spoiled because where I work it's a mom and pop's bakery. We make our own cream out of true ingredients. Milk. I'm not allowed to repeat exactly because I'm under contract, but
I'm sure that you're a man who knows what it should taste like.
Basic ingredients. It should have like almost like, think of like a really good whipped vanilla icing. That's how the
just
cream.
Just gonna say like a vanilla custard.
Right. That's how the cream tastes in our cream filled donuts. Not custard. Not like Bavarian cream. Not the yellow stuff. White. Like very, very vanilla flavored, super whipped, creamy, just delicious, milky flavor, sweet, milky vanilla. Their cream, Krispy Kreme's, quote, cream, to me tastes like marshmallow fluff. And I like marshmallow fluff, but
You've never had marshmallow fluff?
Yes, but I haven't had one of their
it doesn't go well with a donut shell. Like marshmallow fluff, like if you put a scoop of that in some hot chocolate, it's amazing. But you put it inside of a donut, and it's basically like eating sugared ass.
It would be really sticky too.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't quite have the
sugar
consistency of that, but it has the flavor of that. You know what I mean?
That's about sex. That's way too sweet.
It's weird. It's not good. I don't like it.
So, like, donut batter is a sweetened batter anyway.
Correct.
So why would you want to accentuate the sweetness by making it sickly?
You can make it sweeter, but yeah, don't make it sickly. And another thing they do that I hate about their filled donuts is they glaze all of them.
Every donut.
Every donut is glazed, and I hate that. Not every donut needs to be glazed. A shell, like the kind of donut that you fill is called a shell, a dough shell. It's made out of dough, it's fried. It's okay to glaze those, but it depends on what you put in it. So, for example, where I work, we have two different types of glaze. We have a vanilla glaze, and we have a cinnamon glaze, okay? The cinnamon glaze on a cinnamon roll is excellent.
I want to be cinnamon glazed.
Yes. Wait a minute. I just had this never mind. It's dirty.
Keep that up.
Cinnamon is her
a cinnamon flavored glaze on a shell is good, but if you fill it with the wrong,
maybe Matt doesn't discriminate.
I don't care.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, you were saying.
Anyway, I'm starting to lose my train of thought here. You want the donuts to be sweet, obviously, but you need that sweetness to complement the sweetness that's inside the donut. So you can't just have, vanilla glaze on the outside and then, a cream vanilla fill on the inside, because it's too much sweetness, it's too much vanilla. But if you have two contrasting flavors that go together, for instance, we do a donut that is a shell donut with a cinnamon glaze on the outside for the cinnamon sugar flavor, but is filled with apple. So it has an apple filling. That
cinnamon apple.
Yes, and
that makes sense.
It's really good. It's a little overly sweet. It's in my opinion a little too sweet, but it tastes amazing. And and that's not the only one we do, but that's where Krispy Kreme F's up in my opinion. Is they do too much of a good thing on their donuts sometimes, and their glaze is not very delicious in my opinion. Their glaze to me is kind of run of the mill flavored. You know what I mean? It's it's the same glaze you could get Dunkin' Donuts or Tim Hortons have glaze that's very similar to what you call it there, Krispy Kreme, and it's run of the mill, and I don't like it.
I would imagine it's all coming from mass produced.
Well, it's a very similar recipe. I mean, it really is. Really just depending. It's sort of powdered sugar, confectioner's sugar, so water and either lemon zest or vanilla or something like that. So it's a basic.
There's probably
That's pretty much it.
There's probably some other additives that are hard to pronounce.
I'm sure, I'm sure there's a lot, but because if I were to make glaze, that's what I make. Because I made a lemon loaf there recently.
Yeah, that's right.
And glazed the top of it.
And the great thing about that is you know exactly what you put into it, and that's the thing about where Jeff's working. Because I could tell that from the way he spoke about Orham's Donuts. It's a mom and pops. I knew that because Jeff sort of said that in the past, and I could tell that. Okay, yes, when they make something that's creamy, it's made out of actual milk and not
not homogenized milk product.
Have you ever watched watched a Tasty on a video on Facebook? Tasty or Get in My Belly?
Can't say
Tasty
that I have.
or Get in My Belly.
If you ever noticed, because I've watched a lot, I watch recipes on lunch at work. I love recipes. I'm really been into baking and cooking. So, one thing I noticed is that now, say Dream Whip, they don't call it whipped cream. They call it whipped topping because it contains
no cream,
actual cream.
Yeah, there's no milk in it. That makes sense. It's like I'll give you a similar example, but kind of not the same. Is here in America, I don't know what it's like up there with you guys, but here in America, if you buy what's called American cheese, everybody refers to it as American cheese. But if you look at the label, it's actually called pasteurized cheese product.
Yeah.
So
Cheese Whiz.
Because Cheese Whiz, exactly. There's no actual dairy in it. There's no actual cheese. It's oil and flavoring. And I mean, it tastes tasty. It tastes great to dip a pretzel in some Cheese Whiz, but there's there were no cows milked to make that product.
It's made out of chemicals.
Preservatives,
gray
artificial flavors.
If you do to it, it will turn.
You burn it or something like that.
Yeah, it turns wrong color.
Waxy.
Yeah, it turns into a waxy, dark, deep brown nastiness.
my wife used to make a dish with cheese on the top, and she used to use cheese slices, like
Yeah.
Actual cheese.
That's Kraft
not
singles.
Kraft singles, basically.
Oh, okay.
And-
So yeah, okay.
And it would never taste right, and it's just like
It always makes me laugh when they say it's American cheese.
it's not real cheese. It's not
No,
you
it
know,
isn't. It's
pasteurized
it's
milk
oil.
products.
It's an oil-based product.
Yeah, and it never was good. And I was like,
One molecule away from being plastic.
I know,
Really?
and I'd be like, babe, please,
Now-
No, it
use
didn't.
real cheese, please.
Because we covered that in chemistry in high school.
Yeah,
Our chemistry teacher told us, and I didn't believe him. And I was like, I want to see the chemical compound of this right now. And he pulled it out and he did it. And I was like, holy shit, you're right.
yeah.
So
I
I
will
question
disagree
the-
about the taste, though. Like, if you get good American cheese, this sounds dumb, but Kraft is good flavored American cheese, in my opinion. It tastes great
Yeah.
to an extent.
taste the cheese.
If you put it on a sandwich with ham and like mayonnaise, it tastes horrendous. But if you melt that shit on top of a burger, it is wonderful, and it's made
Why
to
do you
melt.
say-
So
Why
that's,
do you say good American cheese?
Do you mean like proper cheddar or do you mean
no,
like,
no. American
no.
cheese, like the Kraft singles. That's what's called American cheese. That's what we call it. It's called American cheese. Kind of like how there's different Italian cheeses, but there's like 50 of
So
them.
a sharp cheddar, a good sharp American cheddar.
Yes, that's
Okay,
different though,
something-
because cheddar doesn't taste like American. What I call American cheese. Cheddar
Well,
tastes
cheddar
like
is
cheddar.
American cheese.
It is, but we don't refer to it as American cheese. We refer to it as cheddar. American cheese. I don't know. Maybe we're getting lost in translation.
When you say American cheese, I think of Kraft singles.
Yeah, that's pretty much what American cheese is to us. Now you can go to the deli and order a pound of American cheese, and it won't be like Kraft singles, but it'll be made of the same shit. You know what I mean? They'll have a brick of it and they'll slice it, and it's American cheese.
This is really.
Yeah, and there's
No.
yellow American and there's white American. They taste the exact same.
So that's the actual name of the cheese too.
Yes,
Then
yes. But American cheese, what it is it's pasteurized cheese product. It's not.
it's not real.
It's not
no
actual.
100% cheese.
Yeah,
There's
it's
no
not
milk.
a dairy product that has been processed in a way that cheese would be. I don't know how cheese is made for the most part, other than it like curds
Was
and
that
molds.
given?
but-
Was that given to poor families back
Yes.
in the?
Yeah, there's a
Okay.
phrase that you hear around here in America called government cheese and government peanut butter.
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
yeah.
what it was in during the Great Depression of the 1930s and early 40s, America created the welfare program, and FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, gave money and food to people who really needed it, because 35% of America was unemployed or something like that, and
Yeah, it
so
was-
they created. I don't know if this is how the American cheese got created, but that's how it got popular. Was you would send, once a month or whatever, they would send you this giant brick of yellow cheese, and it's what became known as American cheese. And that's what was sent to everybody. And then, of course, anything good, whether it's culture or art or music or food, comes from poor people in poor neighborhoods. And people started taking this, quote, American cheese and, making all these recipes with it. That's when fast food started. That's when you started seeing mom and pop restaurants like McDonald's, kicking up. And then suddenly they become these big chains because they have government cheese on their hamburgers. And it tastes really great, but it's not true cheese.
No, that's right. But
And
it doesn't, and it lasts because it doesn't have any milk cultures in it.
there's no milk culture.
So-
There's no mold.
Yeah, so
There's
it didn't require 100%
Refrigeration.
refrigeration all the time. So to get
It
from
stays
point A
better.
to
It keeps
B.
better, and it's
Yeah.
cheap and easy to make. And that's why the
Yeah.
government made it, and that's why the government handed it out to people who needed food for free,
Yeah, that's right.
because it's easy and cheap to make. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
why when you go to the store today, if you can buy a 32 pack of Kraft singles for like $1.50, but if you go
Yeah.
and buy the same 1 pound of
Velveeta.
cheddar or anything else, it's going to cost you
Yeah.
2 or 3 times as much.
Yeah, that's right. Because
Or-
yeah,
Quebon, or what I would buy.
What?
Proper Quebec cheese. Quebon cheese.
Gibon.
Quebon or Saputo.
Yeah,
No idea what either of those are.
Just two good Quebec cheeses.
Yep.
yeah.
Are they-
Jesus
Quebon,
Christ.
Quebon is
milk
How
and cheese.
good?
Oh,
K-bone is
K-bone.
like-
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, how good? Okay,
K-bone.
K-bone.
How good? And
Saputo is-
Saputo is just
P-U-T-O.
Saputo.
highly, highly organized crime within Saputo.
Is
I'm
there?
gonna get whacked now for saying that. Oh my god, I got a funny
Anything
story.
about our cheese, eh?
Oh god, you gotta keep going with that accent.
Oh, you going to talk about the cheese? Oh.
They talked about our they talked about our cheese making business on the podcast.
You sound like a terrible. You sound like an
I know.
autistic Frenchman, Rachel.
Marine.
Cheese bread.
No, but I have a good story about Saputo because I used to be the manager at McDonald's, and I loved that job. It was awesome. And we got all of our cheese was Saputo cheese that was trucked in specifically for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like we could have gone to like the grocery store and got it, but it's like no. We got to wait for the cheese truck. That's what it was, because we got all our cheese curds for our poutines, all of our cheese for all of our burgers and everything, and all of our milk. So the truck used to come, I think, every Tuesday and Thursday, and I'd be talking to the driver and helping him offload and stuff like that. And he was a cool dude. As far as drivers go, I mean, I got no problem with drivers, but they tend to be a breed of people.
Yes.
Much I'm sure you can understand, Mark.
Yeah.
I can
And,
attest to that as well.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, because I'm sure you handle deliveries. But this guy, I've noticed, and I thought it was just because he was French, but he had like all these rings on and like these gold chains, and I was like, probably because the vanity of the French.
He's Italian French.
But
They are very Italian, Quebec.
yeah.
And it made me laugh, and I was like, he's probably just the way he is. Who cares? And then I was watching a documentary with my friend at the time, the night before, about how the crazy mafia in Quebec took over Saputo, and they go to so you own a pizza place, Mark, in downtown Montreal, and
you
Saputo
need
would
cheese.
they come to you and they'd be like, hey, yeah, we're gonna supply you cheese, and you'd be like, no, you'd be like, no, I already got cheese off someone. They're like, no, you're gonna buy our cheese.
Or we're gonna
Snap.
break your legs.
And if you didn't, they'd burn your place down.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, oh man, this awful fucking mafia, like organized crime-ish. So and the next day, this cheese truck comes, and I was talking to his name was Adrian. And he was a cool dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna say his last name. And I was like, hey, Adrian. And he's like, hey man, what's up? And we were just talking. And I was like, man, I was watching a documentary last night about Saputo. He's like, oh yeah? I'm like, yeah, it's like crazy and like mafia and organized crime, and apparently it's really corrupt. And he stopped. He got within like an inch of my face. He kind of grabbed my shirt and he's like, don't you ever say that to me again. Like stone face. And I was like,
wow.
and I was like,
Got mad.
okay, I won't.
Okay.
Wow.
And he was never ever the same to me.
No.
He was just he wouldn't even speak to me.
Oh,
So
it's
I'm
fine.
like, I'm not gonna mess with that.
No. Keep that.
I'm
keep
gonna leave that
yeah.
alone.
We're done.
Yeah, you'll end up floating down the St. Lawrence with a comment like that, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Speaking, I gotta change the topic.
Let's make it quick because we're approaching an hour here.
Yeah, I just wanna throw this out there
Okay.
because I just wanna
You finish the sentence?
express my disgust.
Okay, Porky Pig.
Yeah.
Ebony.
McDonald's in Canada sucks.
Does it?
McDonald's Canada sucks, and I'll tell
Why?
you why McDonald's Canada sucks. Because Mr. Jeff Finch put up on his Facebook page the fact that there are Super Mario toys.
Yes.
McDonald's.
Just started
Oh.
last week, yeah.
So, my kids, I have two boys who love Super Mario.
Who doesn't?
So I told my wife that the god awful Smurfs promotion is done, and Super Mario should be up as the toys. So my wife went and got my kids Happy Meals, and lo and behold, what's in the Happy Meals?
Smurfs.
Smurfs.
Little blue non-Nintendo characters.
That's right.
See, they could
Why?
just be here.
Why do they have to do that to us? Why can't they give us exactly what the United States has? Because I'm going to tell you, I imagine the United States had those stupid ass Smurfs toys too, but
They
it didn't
did.
last this long.
It did.
And yeah,
Don't
they're done.
Yeah, it just
They
ended
get-
like last week.
Yeah, and they got Nintendo toys.
We have
But we still
Nintendo
get
toys.
stupid Smurfs toys. And you know what our next wave of toys is? What's the Beanie Babies? Not Nintendo toys, Beanie Babies.
That is lame.
And that pisses me off.
You should see Mark. When Mark is really conviction about something, his lips kind of curl back.
Yeah, I'm pissed off because it's
Like a horse
stupid.
that's about to buck
Why-
somebody.
Yeah.
Why does these corporations that basically, if you think about it, I mean we're
Well,
We're
here,
pretty much
let me just
close to
stop
the
you right
same
there. Let me stop you right there,
supply-
Mark. Because first off, I highly doubt it's McDonald's. It's probably Nintendo. And the reason I say that is Nintendo of North America is actually Nintendo of America. I would
Yeah, I
have
know.
to imagine, and this is pure speculation, but it just makes sense to me. I would have to imagine that Nintendo probably doesn't have a deal with McDonald's of Canada.
Why not?
I can't answer that. Maybe it has to do with,
We like
shipping.
Nintendo.
Maybe they just don't think that that it's a big enough promotion for Nintendo to make that many toys to do it. You know,
They probably heard my opinion and they were like, "Whoa, we don't want to go near that."
them Canadians are a bunch of PC master race fools. They don't want Nintendo up there.
They don't buy Nintendo Switch up here.
I don't
Yeah.
mean, I don't want to defend McDonald's at all because McDonald's is a terrible corporation that yet I'm still addicted to. But
Yeah, exactly.
something tells me that Nintendo is the reason for that. I don't know why. I call it a hunch. But when it comes to those kind of things, it takes, you need, if Nintendo's going to make, millions and millions and millions of these toys and ship them off to McDonald's, they're going to send it to markets where they know that people are going to want to buy Happy Meals for that toy.
They would have bought. People buy Nintendo toys up here. Trust me.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
but
believe
I
you.
mean-
I believe you.
It's a global market.
No
But
one eats
we are-
McDonald's like Americans.
You're also
Right.
talking about the same company that just discontinued the NES Classic that sold 2.4 million copies in 3 months. And
I know.
so Nintendo's, we'll talk about Nintendo on your podcast because that's the nerd thing, but that's just where I'm at with it. Like,
Yeah.
I honestly think that McDonald's is not to blame there. And I kind of hope I'm wrong because I would rather defend Nintendo than defend McDonald's. That being said, Mark, I'll tell you something, buddy. In the coming weeks, I'm going to be buying Happy Meals for my kid. 'Cause
Okay.
I feed her McDonald's once a week. So I'm going to start getting her Happy Meals. And if I get any duplicate Nintendo toys, once the promotion's over, I will send you all
Ship
the
'em up.
duplicates.
Sounds good.
I'm
My kids will
sending-
love it.
I'm sending out Nick. You can tell him to relax and unclench his asshole. I'm going to send out his comics this coming week.
Oh, okay, cool, yeah. Fuck no.
I just got
it's
my
not here.
taxes back and I got a bit of float. So
Hello. So,
Can
Float.
you go to? I don't know. I've never known to do this. Can you walk into a McDonald's? Okay, you used to run the McDonald's.
yeah,
Can you just go buy the toys?
no, but I mean, if you know the guy, know the manager, they can just give them.
they'll
to you.
flip them
Okay.
to you, yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay.
like, you just be like, we usually, what the people used to do, be like, oh my youngster bought a Happy Meal and he lost a toy. Can I have another one? Just, yeah, man, here you go.
They don't care.
And they don't care.
No.
They wouldn't do it now with the manager they have now. But if it was me and you come up, you're like, man, I just want for my kid. I'd be like, here you go, man.
Here you go. I have two.
See, I was cool, but I don't really care.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Cool.
That being said, though, those toys look awesome, and I wish that they would have done. There's a run of 8 Mario-themed toys, and that's great. It would be nice, though, if they maybe in the future did one where they had toys from all the franchises. Maybe in Splatoon, Inkling, and Link, and Zelda, and Bowser, and Mario, and Samus. A Samus McDonald's toy would be the shit.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and just end it right there, guys. This was a wonderful conversation. I had a really good time doing this. Anybody that's watching or listening to my podcast, once again, I'm going to be doing a podcast for you guys here coming up in a few minutes, and hopefully that comes out in the coming weeks. You guys want to plug your stuff real quick?
No, you.
Well, yeah, follow us on Twitter at 1337FM Nerd Talk Radio. Follow us on, subscribe to us on YouTube, the same name, 1337FM Nerd Talk Radio. It's going to lose meaning eventually. You can go to our website, www.1337FMNerdTalkRadio.com, and donate to our Patreon under the same name, 1337FM Nerd Talk Radio. It just rolls off the tongue.
Just
Rolls
like
off
that.
the tongue.
Yeah,
Just like
here
your
I
mom.
was like, no, don't plug us.
Oh,
We
I'm
don't want.
gonna
We
plug
don't
the-
want.
I'm
We
gonna
don't
plug
want
the fuck out of us.
plugs.
Me and Mike are talking about getting a billboard.
A billboard?
Yeah.
Where?
I don't know.
Okay.
Fremont
Somewhere.
Highway.
There we go.
But yeah.
And on top of that, I'll be sprinkling in links all through the YouTube video. I've gotten pretty good at YouTubing now, and have learned how to properly use their cards and all that stuff to sprinkle links everywhere. So I'll be
Cool.
sure to do that as
YouTubers.
well. But
But,
anyway,
yeah, that's something I'm going to be getting a lot more on because I've been a little slack lately.
yeah, your videos suck, actually, to be perfectly honest with you. The audio's fine. The video portion of it's like...
I know some loser tried to give me some intro, and I might use it. I don't know.
Yeah, the intro I made for you took me about 5 minutes. I really liked it though. But that being said, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with YouTube without actually doing anything to your videos. Like you can have the end cards now is a big thing where you can put videos up at the end for the last 20 seconds. I've been doing that. The cards are like little links that pop up on the screen during the video, that sort of thing. Start looking that up, and it's easy to do, and it only takes a few extra minutes, and we'll just leave it at that. So
Makes
Anyway,
it more professional.
it does. Makes it more professional, and it makes it easier for somebody to find your stuff on somebody else's page. So, if you watch the last video I did, you'll see annotations pop up that say, hey, visit Matt's podcast or something of that sort, and it's right there for them to see, and it opens up in a new window, and then they can subscribe from there. So, anyway, thanks a lot for joining me. This has been a lot of fun. Appreciate it very much, guys. Thanks for coming
No
on.
problem. Had fun.
All
We'll
right.
talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye. See ya.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please be sure to hit the thumbs up below. That helps me out. Also, subscribe to my channel and make sure to hit the little bell icon so you can be notified of all of our upcoming videos. Thanks a lot.